Coming up on Rescue You, presented by GreaterGood.org, college kids are out to save the animals.
It's a lot of backbreaking work, but I mean, all the differences that's being made, it's really going to be a great thing after we leave.
Hi, I'm Liz Baker, Executive Director of GreaterGood.org, and this is Greater Good Presents Rescue You. These college kids give up their time with their friends, time with their families, their school vacation to come out to shelters in different locations, in different communities, and they inspire us all.
This is Rupert. Come here, come here. He said, oh, you're gonna sit by me? Come here and say hello. How are you doing? We help about 2,000 injured and orphaned birds a year. We have some that come in and never leave. I was putting boxes in the shed from outside, and the rain started pouring really hard, and all of a sudden the roof just came off the building that I was in. And I then was concerned about the animals out here and what was happening with the wind that we had, and all the cages we'd built and everything we had done was destroyed. All the pins were lifted up, some of them were over the fence. We found some of them in the field. They, you know, it was just like a tornado came through and destroyed everything. But anyway, I was here working and Sandy called me in and she said, oh, come in and sit down. And I'm like, just tell me what it is, you know. She said, well, you got the grant, the Pet Finder grant. She hadn't told me how much it was yet. She goes, well, you know, it's $60,000. And I was like, oh my God, wow. Because that's an incredible amount of money for us. We don't even get that much money in a year for donations. You know, originally I thought they would just give you the money and we'd pay to have a barn built. And then when we found out they would come down and do the work and all that, we were really excited. I don't get too overly excited about many things. But it was a pretty big deal for us.
Few days into the job already. You can see we've already got the walls up on the barn. Right now they're sheathing the barn with our exterior material. So right now all we're waiting on is for the frost to get off that roof so we can get up there and put some shingles on this new building that we have. What we're going to do for them is divide this up into two little sections. They'll have the main area where the birds can hang out and get out of the bad weather. And back over there we're going to put a wall up and give them some storage space. Storage is always, like I said, a huge issue at shelters, so we're going to try to help them out a little bit by giving them more room.
So this is we actually call it the Gimpy Duck Yard. And this is basically where more of the crippled birds go. Most of them are missing feet, or some are missing their legs, but there's a couple that just don't get around really well. So we do put new birds out here when they come out of the hospital if they're limping. And then once they get better, we transition them out into the other yard. He was just being used for target practice by kids in the neighborhood. So he ran in the street trying to get away from them, and he had a lot of damage to his legs from pellets that were under his skin, and some of them were under his tendons, and so he walks kind of funny.
When this thaws out, it becomes muck that is up over the tops of your boots. Absolutely disgusting. So we're going to need to get the Bobcat back here, put in a swale and a berm, and see if we can't run some of this water away from where these people need to be working.
We had gotten a call from another wildlife center. They had this crow. He was missing his beak, and they were trying to place him because we wouldn't release him that way. Plus he's got a little bit of a bad wing. We were just talking to the vet how he couldn't play with the toys and he couldn't do the foraging because of the fact there was no beak there. He said, well, let's try a beak on him. He said, I would do that just for the fun of it. And so we brought him down and tried it, and then he got out of surgery and immediately started picking up food. You can kind of see the wire frame here a little bit. See that here where the silver marks are? Right. That's actually, it almost looks like a robotic beak underneath.
We're actually running 1,500 feet of chain link, and you see the guys behind me that are starting to get that done. We've already got the poles in, we've got the wire strung, and now we're starting to get the actual chain link up on these fences.
He doesn't think he's a turkey, he thinks he's a person, and that's one of the unique things about birds is that you really can't do it with dogs and cats, but birds imprint. So when they're born, the first thing they see in general is what they associate with what they are. So when Mr. T was born, when somebody hatched him, he saw people and they raised him up and kept him as a pet. And then he was abandoned when he was bigger because people do that a lot, and then the people just don't realize when they raise them in a house that when they get to a state where normally a bird would be in the wild by itself, they think it's okay just to let him go. And so he was turned loose and just started following people around, and that's how we picked him up.
This is not recreational day at Rescue You. This is a mode of transportation to the island that you see behind me. What they have here is one of their many ponds that they have on their property. And the island in the center is actually set up to be like a predator protection island, so that should a raccoon or a fox get in here, the ducks and the geese can get out to the island and get a little bit more safe distance between them and whatever predator it is. This is how we have to get all of our materials out to that island to build yet another feeding station for the ducks.
You have these college kids who are giving up their winter vacation, New Year's, to come out here and volunteer. I mean, just what does that mean to you?
It's really cool. I mean, I have 2 teenagers, and I couldn't get them to put out this kind of effort. So when she said college kids, at first I thought, oh boy, because I got to chase mine down and put them to work. But we've just been blown away by these kids. They're so dedicated and so hardworking, and I think it definitely gives us some hope for our youth here that you know, there's definitely some they have an incredible work ethic. It's really been heartwarming to see them all put in the effort and to give up their whole vacations, and they work every day, all day, sun up to sundown. So we just have been blown away by their efforts here.
Today we have our gourmet meatloaf with brown sugar and ketchup.
What do you think about having all these college kids out here slaving away?
They're the most wonderful thing that's happened to us in a long time.
I've done the fencing. Well, I dug some of the holes. I fixed some of the fence line in the backwoods. Carried the concrete actually out into the woods for some of the girls.
It's your first trip. What's the experience been like?
Hard, kind of sore. We did a lot of privacy fencing, so we cemented holes, carried 50 pounds of cement like over half a mile in really rocky terrain. That was awesome.
I helped Doug carry some of the sod, although he did most of the laying stuff.
It's cool because the birds need help and they need someone to take care of them when they're sick like this. So it's cool to have a place for it.
Yeah, this was something I never knew was even a need, honestly. And to see how many animals here would probably either be in a lot of pain or dead were it not for Carolina Waterfowl Rescue is just incredible.
I dug for 3 days straight, and every moment Bryn could, she made fun of me. It's a lot of backbreaking work, but I mean, all the differences that's being made just because of the clay. It's really going to be a great thing after we leave.
We were trying to get Dan to work faster out on that island back there, and we had a bet going that he couldn't dig 1 hole in the time that it took me to dig 2 holes. And I dug a 16-inch hole down in the time that it took him to fix a hole that he had already dug the day before.
Here we are on our second to last day. You know how these trips go. Everything's getting a little tight with time. We got tons of work that needs to be done still. So we have put in every effort to get every volunteer we can. We've even got Tim Coonan, the CEO of Animal Rescue Site here, rolling up his sleeves, getting dirty to help us out. As always, we appreciate the funding and the sponsorship from ARS, but boy, today I even appreciate the volunteerism even more.
Built some feeding boxes and I moved them to an island. We were digging drainage ditches and then lining them with grass to filter the sediment out of them, and then rerouting them in through this pond for the couple of settlement ponds that were dug by the volunteers.
Oh, that looks gorgeous.
It's really special to see the work being done here. I think we have, obviously, the work that they're doing here is amazing. We are honored to be able to help. Our customers and clickers and donors have really made a huge contribution. I also think that the real contribution is going to be seen by what happens with the young people who work here and what they do later on with their lives, because I see enormous impact for them as well as for the animals and for the community. So we are honored to be able to help the Rescue U and to help the Waterfowl Center here, and to be able to make a contribution. I mean, that's why the Animal Rescue Site exists, and is to help all animals and to help rescue animals, and to see all the birds here and to see the one-legged birds that have been rehabilitated or with prosthetic limbs or prosthetic bills, to see animals that would otherwise be euthanized allowed to live out their lives in peace. This is a very special place here, and I'm very sorry that the tornado hit here, but I'm pleased that we've been able to make a little difference, and that the volunteers for Rescue U have made big differences. So if people are considering a Rescue U trip in the future, considering volunteering, it seems to me that it's really, really worthwhile. You have real impact, you get to meet really special people, and have impact that lasts for decades after you leave. So we're honored to help you. Where do you want it?
That's good right there.
It's the final days and everyone here, all the volunteers and staff are working as hard as they can to get everything done.
Seriously, when we set up this job and we did this, I honest to God, I didn't think we'd get that back 1,500 feet of fence in. This is just bonus because we found a little extra tweaking money room in the budget. Thank you, ARS. Basically, what I want to get done up front here is we need to get all the fittings on, we need to get the poles on, the poles cut, the wire pulled. But if you girls can really get cranking on that, we still got to get a second coat of paint on most of the trim, I believe. We got to get the sheathing up inside and the FRP up inside. The dump truck's going to be coming, I have no idea when, but pretty soon with all the gravel. So you guys who are setting up and painting, you have got to keep your junk off of this area. So first things first, you know, take you, Wheezy, and move those rolls of chain link into the duck pen. Dan hasn't done any chain link this whole trip.
Yeah, Dan.
And he would cry. Did you see how upset he was that he hasn't gotten to do chain link? He was like, yes, I get to do chain link, finally. I've been waiting all trip. Okay, so you guys know what you're doing? Get her onions. Let's do this so we can get home and get clean and not have to go out to dinner all dirty.
This grass doesn't look too healthy to me.
It's because it's dormant right now.
Oh, it's dormant?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It'll spring back to life as soon as it warms up and gets a lot of water.
The mud's pretty much like ankle deep, and the first few days it actually rained and it was ridiculous. It sucked the bottom of my shoe off.
If we have time, and I think this would be a perfect job for you, is moving the chain link rolls with the Bobcat.
Bryn's gonna teach me how to use the Bobcat, which I've been trying to nag her for to learn how to use for the past week. So I'm hoping that I get to use that.
When I was in Oklahoma, that was my first trip, I hated it. Like, it was so bad. And then I went home and I only remembered all the fun I had, and it was just awesome. And I was like, I could not wait to get on another one. And now they can't get rid of me.
The past two Kentucky and Tennessee trips, I couldn't go because of work. And it actually really upset me, because this is one thing that this is my thing. My family knows that this is what I do over my winter breaks, what I do over my summer break. So my family knows this is what I do, and you know, it's a great thing to do.
We have just been blown away by these kids. They're so dedicated and so hardworking, and I think it definitely gives us some hope for our youth here.
Every college kid should be required to do this, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great appreciation for life.
Yeah.
I also think that the real contribution is going to be seen by what happens the young people who work here and what they do later on with their lives, because I see enormous impact for them as well as for the animals and for the community.
In addition to all the really great projects that we're doing over this 2-week process, we'd also like to present you guys with a check for $5,000 to go into care and feeding and anything that you may need as we depart from your awesome shelter. We just wanted to say thanks for letting us come. We had a great time, and we just really hope you enjoy what we've done here.
Yes, we really appreciate it. That's awesome. And all your guys' work. We're going to miss everybody.
So on behalf of Rescue You and the Animal Rescue Site and the Pet Finder Foundation, here's money to continue your great work. We've been a lot of places with our Rescue You program and didn't really quite know what to expect with the waterfowl rescue, and you do an amazing job, and you do a great job adopting out and caring for these birds, and we're just thrilled to be able to be here with you.
We appreciate it. Thank you. We really needed the help, and like I said, we get overlooked a lot because we do non-traditional animals, so it's really been amazing to have you guys here and helping us. That I wasn't expecting at all, and we do struggle with getting donations, and like I've mentioned before, getting grants and getting help, so we really can use the donation, and so it's very much appreciated, and we'll put it to some good use here, and 100% of our money goes directly to the animals. We don't pay any of our people here or really fund anything else. It will all go directly to these animals here, so it's money well spent. A big thanks to Rescue You, the Pet Finder Foundation, and the Animal Rescue Site for being out here and helping us with all the hard work and our grant. You're going to definitely help us save hundreds of birds, thousands of birds every year with our new barn, and we couldn't have done it without you.
Rescue You wouldn't be possible without the support from the Animal Rescue Site audience. Click every day, shop, donate to our Gifts That Give More program, and volunteer in your community to help animals.